Hi, greetings to all our participants. Welcome to this Creator Insights webinar, the final one for this year 2023. So today we are going to be looking at the topic of data visualization and the capabilities using BI and analytics in Zoho Creator. So I'm going to be your host for today's meeting. My name is Brandon Cloney. I work here at Zoho Creator as a senior solution engineer. Along with me, I have a co-host, my teammate Monica, who will also be part of today's meeting. So let's go ahead without further ado and kickstart the session. So before we go ahead, just a few key pointers to highlight. So all our attendees are going to be on mute. It's not going to be an interactive session, this one, although you can feel free to use the questions tab, which you would find there on the left-hand side. So you can just post your questions should you have any. A recording of this session will be sent out to all our attendees. Okay. So the email ID which you have registered with, you'll be getting a session or rather a recording of this session. Likewise, we do have a post-session survey which we would like you to participate in as well. So the agenda for today's meeting, we're going to take a quick look or an introduction into the Zoho Creator platform and the BI and analytics solution that also it offers. Along with that, we're going to understand what are the reporting capabilities within the Zoho Creator platform, so the robust data visualization capabilities. Then we'll take a look at the process involved in analytics and analyzing data. Also, we'll take a look at the advantages of the BI and analytics over the creator reporting, right? And we're going to even do a live demo. So we're going to create these reports, dashboards. We're going to look at different use cases and examples to keep it interactive. And finally, we do also have that Q&A session, right? So we'll make sure that we hear you out and answer your questions as well. So an introduction to Zoho Creator, yeah. As a product, we've been evolving over the last 15 plus years. We have presently around 14,000 plus customers, around 7 million applications that's been built on top of this platform, this low code application development platform, right? And around 6 million plus users also accessing the solution. When we talk about Creator, we just don't look at it as an application builder, but an entire solution builder, wherein you get the application development. Along with that, you will be able to build BI and analytical workspaces, right? Thirdly, you also get a smart integration or an integration flow, all this bundled into one single subscription, right? So like we can see on this slide over here, right? We have the three solutions, the applications, your BI and analytics, and the integration flow. And of course, these apps that we create, the workspaces in terms of their reporting, all that, it can be accessed on cross platform, and we have it available for iOS, Android. You can access it on web, mobile, and tablet devices, right? So you don't need to have the headache of building separate mobile and web applications or tablet apps, right? So you build using the web application, and the same app can be accessed on all these different devices, right? Let's go on. We're going to take a look at the creator reporting capabilities, right? So broadly, to classify Zoho Creator, it comprises of four major components, which I would say these are the building blocks. So if you use the Zoho Creator platform, you should be knowing that these are the heart of Zoho Creator, which you have your forms to collect and store data, your reports to visualize data, which we're going to be keenly focusing on today's webinar. Along with that, you have pages. So pages is your dashboard, which gives you that 360 view with all your important KPIs, metrics, all that can be put onto a page. And your workflows, which helps with all the business logic and automation, right? So when you look at the reporting within the Creator application builder, we have 8 different kinds of reports. So we're going to take a look at each and every one of these reports along with the data, which is going to be done part of the live demo. Okay. And then the second solution, which is your BI and analytics, right? So you'll be able to use this BI and analytical solution to combine data from different sources, integrate it all together, and have one single place with all the data and create different insightful reports and dashboards, right? You'll be able to build advanced charts. You'll be able to create those widgets and KPIs. You'll be able to create all those different pivot charts, pivot tables, right? And create intuitive dashboards, right? And once you do that, you'd like to have the access controls to define and share it with the different set of users, whether they can only read the data, whether they can read and write, or whether they can export, right? All those fine data governance also can be handled within the platform. So why analytics, right? Uh, when we talk about BI and analytics, it generally benefits organizations, enterprises, businesses with different insights. So basically, you'll have all your data centralized. Your data collection is all centralized, right? So if you have different cloud-based apps or different Zoho apps, you can have all of that data centralized and create intuitive reports and dashboards out of it. Yeah, and the second one, it answers the data visualization, creating these intuitive reports and dashboards, right? Once that's done, you have where you can collaborate and share these dashboards with different set of users within the organization. If you want to list it and make it public, you can share it with users externally as well, right? And yeah, it has a scalable architecture, and likewise it can be easily embedded. Let's say you have a website which you like to embed that dashboard on, or if you just want to embed it within third party applications, right? You can easily get an embed link and you can have that embedded elsewhere. So the process involved in analytics, right? So there are four processes which we'll take a look at: the data integration, the data preparation, visual analysis, and collaboration. So you would have commonly heard of this term, the ETL, right? The extract, transform, and load of data. So this is a key concept in analyzing your data, preparing the data, right? Bringing in the data from different sources, right? So we'll take a look at it one by one. The data integration part firstly. So this is where you'll be able to import data either from your creator application, right? So if you build an app on top of creator, you can import data from that app. Or secondly, you can import from other data sources, right? So in this screenshot, it makes it clear where you'll be able to see the different options here where you can import from different data sources, right? So if you have a cloud-based system, or if you have some files in X, like spreadsheets, CSV files, you have other Zoho applications which you like to bring in the data and create those reports for, or some other third-party popular cloud-based solutions, right? We have ready-made connectors which you can just set up, connect, and all your data gets integrated over here. The second one is your data preparation, right? So this is where you'll have different options to prep your data. So you can see in these screenshots over here, the first one, where if I want to add different rows or columns into my database, let's say I import a CSV or an Excel file, right? So if I want to add some additional columns into it, yeah, I'll be able to prep the data at this part. Similarly, if I want to add some arithmetic calculations or some logics, or I want to create some formulas, right? So I'll be able to even do these features. Likewise, you'll be able to connect your tables using the relationships. So if you've built an application, ideally you're building a relational database with different forms or different tables you connected together, right? And once you import application, all those relationships are also handled. And in case it isn't, like you're importing from different spreadsheets, you'll be able to build and connect those tables using these relationships. And last one is your query tables, right? So this helps you to write these SQL queries where you can create a union, a join of different tables within your analytical workspace. Okay. The third one is your visual analysis. So this part is where you will be able to create those different charts. So we have different kinds of charts. We'll take a look at them soon. And you'll be able to see all the tables. So when we talk about tables, let's say you have 10 forms, these are your tables, all the data within those tables, the rows of data, all that would be viewed within that data or table section, right? And you'll be able to create those pivot tables as well. Then you have those dashboards. So this dashboards is where you'll get all the quick insights and the overview. And we also have a cool feature like Ask Zia, right? So Zia is Zoho's own conversational AI assistant, which you can make use of as well while analyzing your data. So these are some of the supported chart types that we have: a pie chart, a ring chart, bar chart, right? You have different charts, almost 20 different types of charts to, instead of looking at the raw data, you have all these reporting, or rather all these different charts available, which you can create to get those insights to your data. The last part, which is your collaboration, right? So let's say you build these reports, you build these dashboards. Next is where you want to share it with the different users within your organization, right? So you can share this view, you can get the embed link and put it onto your website or to another application builder, right? You can even share it as a URL or permalink. Yeah. So these are all the collaboration features available once you are done creating all these visual analysis. With Zoho Creator, right? Firstly, we're going to look at the reporting capabilities within Creator, the application builder. In addition to that, we have the BI and analytical solution as well, right? So there are some advantages we are going to see where the BI and analytics reporting has over the Creator reporting, right? So the first one is it offers advanced data analysis, where it provides you the option to create more sophisticated analytical capability and reporting, right? The second one is your data visualization variety. So you'll be able to create a broader range of visualization options, which allows your users to create all these complex dashboards, reports, charts, right? And all these kind of interactive elements. Yeah. The third one is your integration with multiple data sources, like we've seen. So you can bring in data from external databases, from cloud services, from spreadsheets, right? And it helps you to create that more comprehensive view of your business. The fourth one is your scalability. So it helps you to handle large data sets and support analytical needs for your enterprise or for your organization. Yeah. So it can help you to scale and accommodate large data sets. So even let's say you start a business today, in the long run, if you continue using, you'll have tons and tons of data, right? So you would like to have quick reporting. You'll have to have a robust and scalable platform to handle all of this. Like we see in the collaboration and sharing of reports, it becomes very simple and easy. And you also have the option of having time series analysis, forecasting analysis. All of this can be handled within the analytical offering. So now coming to the AI features, which is Zia. So we have this Ask Zia. As I said, it's Zoho's own conversational AI assistance. And we have different AI capabilities, be it field level, in order to collect and store data, like optical character recognition, an object detection, right? A prediction analysis. So all these features are there. And you even have this contextual and actionable insights with AI. Basically, you speak and you can pull out information and reports from the system, or you can just key in some information, which we'll be taking a look at how we can do all of this during a live demo as well. So we're going to take a look at the live demo now of the reporting features, firstly within Zoho Creator, and then we'll go into the BI and analytical solution as well. So this is like the home page or the dashboard screen for Zoho Creator. Once you log into your Zoho Creator account, this is where you'll see your landing page, basically where you'll see the list of applications. You'll be able to see all your BI and analytical workspaces. And if you created any integration flows, that would also be listed down over here. We'll go ahead and I will take a simple use case here, which I've built an application for this webinar. It's going to be a simple order management application, right? So you can see on the left hand side, we have different modules. So these modules would give you all the different forms, your reports, and everything that we create. So we just quickly cover the modules just so that you get an idea of this app, and then we'll take a look at the reporting features. So if you look at it, we have here a product master, right? So in a typical order management system, you'll have all your different products. You'll be able to group those products, right? And once you add in the information through the forms, you have your reports here where you can view this. So for example, all the forms and data that I've added, I'll be able to see that view over here, right? So this is my products master, which has the inventory of all the assets and items, right? Likewise, you have the purchase order module. So if I'm going to procure any items from different suppliers or vendors, so I'll be having a form here to collect and keep track of all that information. I'll be able to add in multiple data into this products form. right? And once I add in information, I'll be able to see the different kinds of reporting. So if I create a PO against a particular supplier, I'll be able to see on this particular date what are all the purchases I've done from this supplier, right? All that information would be viewed here. Likewise, we have this order module, right? So this is where you'll be able to create those new order requests. So you have by default, based on the logged in user ID, I can see who's the sales owner. I'll be able to select my customer, put in an order date, delivery agency, right? And I'll be able to create an order by selecting the products here from this drop down list, which basically is my relational database. It pulls in all the products from that product master that I've entered here, right? So once I create an order, by default, that goes into a pending status. So I'll be able to create those different transitions as well. A pending order, once it's updated the status to ready for delivery, it moves on to the next stage, right? So this is a sequential state application flow which I have. We'll move in now mainly to focus on the reporting part, right? So the 8 different kinds of reports that we spoke about, let's take a look at one by one. Let's take a look at them one by one. Yeah. So the first one is your list report. Now in Zoho Creator, when you create a form, by default, a list report gets created. So for example, I'm going to create a form called add product. Once I add all the necessary fields and I come out, I'll key in the information, and by default an all products report is also generated. So that by default a list report which we are looking at gets created. Okay. So here is where you'll be able to see all the different field types which you've added through your form, right? And all the different records. So there are two views to look at it. We are currently looking at the quick view, right? And on click of a particular record, a detailed view. So if this table or this form rather is related to different forms within your application, you'll be able to view all the related blocks. You'll be able to add all the necessary fields, right? And this is a detailed view where you can custom create a layout. So if if you've attended the previous Creator Insights webinar, where we had this canvas builder feature covered, right? So this is the canvas builder where you can have this view created for the detailed view, right? Where you can see all the related blocks, information, and you can create cool layouts similar to this one. Yeah. So you see the difference between the quick view and the detailed view, right? Likewise, you have the search icon here. So if you click on that, I'll be able to search and pull out information. So let's say I want to search for a particular order number, right? So I can just hit the search icon, put in the order number, and if I click on search, it pulls out that information, and I can easily query my database. So ideally, as a business user, I'm not writing any SQL queries, nothing. It's very simple. Everything is abstracted and there for you to use, and you'll be able to pull out the necessary reports from it. There are other options here where you'll be able to print this. So if you want to print this as a list, or if you want to print it as a summary, likewise, if you want to import data in bulk, right? So if you have all the order details inside a spreadsheet or CSV, you can import this data in bulk. Likewise, you can export all of this data. So we have these supported formats like an Excel, PDF, HTML, an XML, JSON, CSV, TSV. So these are some of the supported formats that we have to export the data as well, right? So this is an example of a list view where I'll be able to see a summary of all the different orders, right? Likewise, the second type of report which we have here is your pivot chart. So in a pivot chart, this pivot chart gives me the view of monthly orders, right? So based on that new order module that I have, I'll be able to see all the different orders which I placed on a monthly basis. So this pivot chart is a more graphical representation for a report, right? So you'll be able to create different views, and on the accesses, I have the order ID, and based on the month the order was placed, I'll be able to pull out and see. So this gives me a quick analysis of the data. Likewise, if I want to sort it, so if I want to sort based on the y-axis where it's descending, so I'll be able to see on which months I've received more number of orders, right? So you have the sorting feature here, right? Likewise, we look at the Zia Insights feature, which is that AI feature. So if you click on the Zia Insights, it gives you the quick analysis, like the AI related information. So it gives you quick insights to the data as well over here, right? And if I want to change this chart type, so I'll be able to change this, say, from a bar chart to a pie chart or line chart, right? So there are different charts that is available here. Likewise, you can even export this data. So you can either export it as a CSV, as an Excel, a PDF, image. So there are different options. You can even export it as into a Zoho sheet or as a template, right? You have all these options here. The third type of report is your pivot table, right? So a pivot table, similar to what you would use in your spreadsheets, be it Excel, Google Sheets. So you create those pivot tables, right? You can do that within Creator as well. So you can see here, this pivot table gives us the order status based on the delivery agency. So I have two agencies here, which is DHL, for example, and LinkUp. And I can see each agency, the status wise, what are the orders, and also on a quarterly basis, what orders they have delivered, what they have not delivered, right? So I'll be able to create such reports as well. And of course, it has the same kind of options for sorting, for exporting, the Zia Insights AI feature, all of that. Right. The fourth type of report is your spreadsheet report. So spreadsheet report kind of gives you that option to still have the information here. So let's say in a list report, right? I need to go, I need to click on this, I need to edit, click on edit if I want to edit, and I need to edit information inside the form here. If I want to change even an estimated delivery date, right? I need to edit it here. But whereas, let's say I'm using a spreadsheet report. Now, this is a spreadsheet report based on the supplier details. So if I want to change the email ID here, for example, so if it's going to be, say, fairy tale, if it's going to be, say, gmail.com, I can just easily edit it from here, click on save, and this information gets saved, right? So if you prefer like a typical spreadsheet report to view the data, edit it from here, right? This gives you that option as well, right? And yeah, same way, you'll be able to import, export all the data. You'll be able to define the layouts for the spreadsheet report. Okay. So I think we have covered four. The fifth one is your Kanban report. So in a Kanban view, you'll be able to see the different stages between the report. So for example, the different order statuses, right? Once an order is placed, it's in pending, the ones that are ready for delivery, right? So you'll be able to see in this Kanban view all the different order statuses, right? Like a typical progress tracking bar where you'll be able to see the view. And here you can see the pending stage, the ready for delivery. You have all these different stages for the order that I placed, right? And it gives you the count as well. Now, let's say this order number 48, right? It's in stage ready for delivery. Let's say the delivery person goes, delivers it to the customer. They can just if they have an access to this report, they can just simply click and drag it. The status for this order gets updated to delivered, right? You can see it also increments the count. So this is an easy view, a Kanban view that we have available, which is your fifth reporting type available. The sixth one is your calendar report. So based on the date time fields that you have within the application, right? So calendar report, I've created this one based on the upcoming deliveries. So for this week, I'll be able to see all the upcoming deliveries, the users that have this, right? So you can just put a title to it. If I click on this order number 10, I'll be able to see the customer, who's the delivery agency, what is the estimated delivery date, right? What is the net total of this order, right? I'll be able to view all that information over here by clicking on that record. So you'll have a calendar view where you can view it on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, a daily basis, right? Likewise, you have a timeline report, so date and time fields. So this gives you the delivery time frame. Like let's say I placed an order here on 19th, right? So even if it's going to be like a time wise, if I'm placing an order at 9 a.m., it's getting delivered at 12 p.m., right? So I'll be able to check that duration. It's going to be 3 hours. This timeline report will help you to achieve the same. The last one is your map report. So let's say you have an address field, right? Your customers basically will capture your customer details. You'll have an address field. So you can put a pinpoint of their location. So you have the option to set the exact latitude, longitude coordinates, right? And you'll be able to create a map report, add these pin style formats, right? So I'll be able to see all my customers here that I've added. I'll be able to click on it and I'll be able to see their information in a more detailed view. So within a map report, you have different views: the basic view, the satellite view, right? Likewise, a street view. So these are your reporting capabilities within Creator. So these are the 8 reports which we covered. Now, if I go into the edit mode on this top right corner is where I'll be able to configure, build, create, and customize the application. So let's say this list report, let's take one simple report and how we can customize it. So you can see here on the right side, you have the quick view, which we discussed. If I want to customize the detailed view, I click on this and I'll customize the detailed view, right? So if I want to modify some of the report properties, let's say I want to set up some filters or create a grouping. So let's say I create a group based on the customer name, right? I can group the orders here in this report based on a particular customer name. And likewise, let's say I'm going to modify the quick view. I can click on this configure field for web. I can see all the different fields here. If I want to add some fields, if I want to remove fields, as in delete them, if I want to create custom action buttons. So custom action buttons is nothing but if you look at this report, you have these buttons, right? So these are your custom action buttons where you can create these buttons, and based on this, like let's say on click of this button, a particular workflow or automation should be executed. You'll be able to configure that using custom action buttons, right? And for each and every field, let's say I want to add some conditional formatting for the order status, something like this all orders report where I have the driver payment status. So this is a conditional formatting where I can set the color, like if it's not paid, it's highlighted in red. If it's paid, then it's green, right? So this is done using this styling component here on the right hand side, right? And for this net total, now let's say I want to I've grouped all the orders based on the particular customer's name, and I want to see what is the total value of the orders that they have with me, right? So I can enable some feature like this, right? And this is where I'll ideally customize the app. Likewise, we have it for the phone. So if you click on phone, you can modify the quick view and detailed view as well, right? And you have different actions. So for the phone, like we have, so if you swipe left on a record or swipe right on a record, a particular action should be executed. You'll be able to define all of that over here. Yeah. So now the report that we customize, let me go to that list report. Okay, so now you can see the very same report. We grouped it based on customer name. So I'll be able to see customer wise all the information, the orders that they've placed with me, right? And this net total, I see a total of all the amounts or invoices that they have with me, right? So this customer has done like $13,000. Okay. So this is how you'll be able to customize the application. And of course, for different kinds of reports, you'll be able to go modify the report properties. For pivot charts, you can change like the legend positions. You can go into the report builder. You can add fields into the x-axis, the y-axis, right? You can create those reports basically here inside the edit mode of the application, right? So these are the 8 reporting types or reports available within the Creator application builder. In addition to this, we're going to take a look at the BI and analytics solution, right? So let us go back to that home page now, and we'll click on this create solution button here. So the second option that we have is your BI and analytics, right? So when you click on that BI and analytics, you'll have 2 options like we seen at the early stage, where you'll be able to import from applications. So that order management app which I created, I can import data from there and create advanced reports and dashboards, which we're going to see, right? Likewise, I can import from different data sources. Okay, so we'll select import from applications for now. Yeah, so once we do that, you have the workspace name over here. So I can give a workspace name, let's say webinar order management, right? So I give a workspace name, then I'll be able to select the application. So in this particular workspace that I have all these different apps which I created. So I'll need to search for that application, which is the order management app. Okay, so I just need to go ahead and search for that application. Moment, yeah, so I found it here. Select the app which I want to create this BI and analytical workspace. And then you have all the different forms. So all the different forms that is present in that application would be listed down here. I need to select if I want this form and the relevant fields available to create reports for. So I just need to select like add reason form, and I need to select the fields, right? So if you want to omit any of the fields, you'll be able to do that. If you want to omit any of the forms or tables, you'll be able to do that, right? So for now, I'm just going to select all the forms and all the fields here so that we can create those reports. You have your order details, the new order, right? So all these forms I just select for now. Okay, and then you have the question as to how often this data needs to be synchronized. Okay, so we have three options. It can be done on a daily basis. Let's say, for example, every morning at 9 a.m. you need this to be synchronized, the data. You can set it as that. Or if you need it on an hourly basis, it can be done. So with a frequency of 3 hours, 6 hours, and 12 hours as of now, right? Or if it's not going to be scheduled, you can select this option as well, right? So for now, we'll select it every 3 hours. It's going to be synchronized. And if we click on this create button, okay, so once you click on create, you'll get this message saying import from Zoho Creator setup completed. So we have just set up this part of the solution. Okay, and yeah, once the data is synchronized, everything, you will receive an email notification to the registered, or rather the super admin email ID. Like this is my account email address, so I'll receive an email saying that the data has been synchronized from that order management app, right? So all the records, all the information, all the relationships, all that will be imported, and it will be available here within this workspace that we just created, right? Okay, so you can see here all those tables which we selected, or rather the forms which we selected, it's displayed here. But if I click on any of these at the moment, I won't see all the fields, all the data. It's still not imported. Okay, so this is where if I click on data sources over here, right? If I click on data sources, I'll be able to see all the different data sources. Now here we have created based on an application, which is our order management app that we have created, right? So you can see here the initial status, initial fetch is in progress. Once it is completed, this will be updated as completed. If you want to hard sync the data, like you can see the frequency intervals, it syncs every 3 hours. So I'll show you an existing workspace which the data sync has been done. So in this particular workspace, if I go here, I'll be able to check the synchronization history. So you can see here, this has been set up, and on this day, say 13th December, it's synchronized once, right? So since every 3 hours, the frequency of the synchronization count will be 8, right? So you can check the synchronization history. And if you want to hard sync the data from the app to come into this BI and analytics workspace, you can just hit this sync now button over here. Okay. And yeah, in case you want to add any other data sources to the application, or rather this workspace, you can click on this add data source button. Okay, and you'll be able to see all the different integration options available here, right? So if you're going to import data, let's say from a spreadsheet into this very same workspace, you'll be able to do that. Or if it's going to be some other Zoho application, let's say you're using Zoho Books, or if you're using Zoho CRM for your sales management, right? You'll be able to connect with that data source and bring in data from those relevant modules, all within one single workspace here, right? So this is how you'll be able to import your data from different data sources, right? And then you have your settings here. So the settings are basically your general settings. If you want to change the workspace name, you want to set the fiscal year from Jan to December, or however you want to define it, right? Then you have all your resources. So here, as I'm accessing and speaking to you, I can see here that all the data, as in the rows, everything has been imported. How many users have been shared this workspace, right? All that information can be tracked under the settings. You have your formats, the different color palettes that you want to set up. So you can manage the users, the groups over here, right? Likewise, if you want to set up any email schedules and send out these reports and dashboards from here, right? So all this is the basic settings and setup that you can do over here. Let me go back to this data model now. And before that, let me refresh it. Okay. So I just like to also show you that email. You will receive an email like this. So you can see when I set up that workspace, I received an email saying that the Zoho integration setup process is completed for the order management app, right? So you know once the initial fetch of data is done. Okay, now I can see all the information as in all the data, all the forms, all that information is pulled in into my BI and analytical workspace. Okay, so this is where I can get started and I can create those different reporting views based on the tables that I have here. Okay, so let's say I go into this data module, I can see all the tables and information here. And let's create a simple report for now. So let's click on report, create new report, right? So I'm going to create a chart view. And it's going to be, let's say, based on the first table, which is our add customer, right? So I click on OK. So now I can use the different fields. Let's say I want to see the customer database that I have. What is the general gender-wise chart if I want to create? So I can just drag and drop, let's say, a gender field onto this x-axis. Click here to generate graph. Right. So I have a simple pie chart that gives me the percentage of male and female customers that I've added into my database here. Right. So very simple chart. Let's say I put a name to it, gender wise chart, and I hit on save. So I can just click OK. So this will save. And if I click on this view mode, I'll be able to view the chart. If I want to change the type of chart to a bar chart, right? All these features will be here, the legend where I can select the informations, right? Okay. So this is like a simple gender-wise chart. Now we have this Ask Zia feature as well. We'll come to that next. Before that, let's create some other reports as well. So if you go into this data model, okay, I'll go into data. Let me select, for example, the create purchase order. So this create purchase order table with all the suppliers, the purchase order details, right? If I want to auto generate some reports, that can also be done. If I click on this plus icon at the top with auto analysis, right? So based on this table, the system itself will generate you different kinds of reports. It will give you different kinds of dashboards, right? If you just click on this with auto analysis, you'll have all that information which you can see. So it will generate those reports for you. So we'll move on. Likewise, we can create some simple reports with this auto analysis. Okay. So it may take a little bit of time, but once that's done, we'll be able to see those reports. Moving on, we have the Ask Zia feature here. So this is where you can actually interact with the system. You can speak to it and you can pull out different kinds of reports, or you can just use this search tab here. Let's say I want to, let me do one thing. I will just do a quick refresh of this workspace. Okay, so I think those reports are also generated, the auto analysis reports. We'll go back to the Ask Zia feature here. Now, let's say I'm going to type number of orders. Okay, so from this new order table, I'll select number of order ID, and I want to see it based on a status. So the status of each and every order, I want to see a report for that. So I just click on search. Okay, so it pulls up a report and it gives this to me, right? So I can see here, based on the order status, I have a report. I can see the number of orders which are being delivered, the status has been marked as delivered, the ones that are pending, the ones that are ready for delivery, the rescheduled orders, right? And even if I want to save this report, so I can just click on this save, and let's say I'm going to say order ID status. Right? So I can just click on this and I can save this report as well. Now something simple as the total number of orders. So I can just type number of orders, which will give me the total number of orders from that particular table. So I can have like a simple widget like this, which gives me the count of the total number of orders, right? Same way, let's say I want to get the number of order IDs on a quarterly basis, right? So I can pull out a report for the number of orders on a quarterly basis. So if I click that, enter. So here you can see a report on a quarterly basis, how many orders have been placed. I'll have a report. And if I want to save this report, I can just click save, orders, quarter. Okay. And just click on save. Same way, a more detailed view, like for example, number of orders from this new order ID. And I want to create this on a monthly basis. So I want to see the count on a monthly basis. So I'll be able to do something like this. Similar to quarterly wise, I'll be able to see on a monthly basis. But let's say I want a more detailed analysis. So number of order IDs, we're going to do the same thing as, one moment, let's do it monthly, right? The same thing. And I want this to be as a bar chart, right? So I can type as a bar chart, and likewise, where, let's say the order date is this year. So you can see here we have a report where we have orders even from Jan 22, May 22. So if I type something as detailed as this, where I want it as a bar chart, where I want the order date only specific to this year, right? So I'll get a report based on the data that is available in the system. So here you can see I have a report which gives me the orders for this year, Feb 23 to December 23. And let's say I want to save this also as a report. I can mark orders current year. And just click on save. And basically all these reports which we created will be saved here, and you'll be able to view these reports at any time. You'll be able to modify it. You'll be able to edit it, right? Okay. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and take a look at building or creating like a simple dashboard. So for that, let's say we already have a few dashboards which we have done based on the auto analysis here. Let's pick out any of the dashboards. So you can see here, it gives you all those intuitive views. You have different kinds of reports, different kinds of charts available already embedded here. And let's say I even want to edit it and I want to create further customized dashboards. I can create and add different kinds of tabs. Let's say this one is going to be the employee dashboard, employee info. And I'm going to create another tab, which is going to be the sales orders, right? So based on this, I can create multiple tabs within a single dashboard, right? And over here, like, let's say I want to add some text. So this text I'm going to add, let's see. Right, so I give a name or a text. I'll be able to customize it, add the different font sizes that I need. If I want to center this, right? So if I click on insert, I'll have this my sales order details. So I can even change the themes as well over here. If I want a light theme or a dark theme, right? I can define that over here. Okay. So this is how you go about building a dashboard. Like, let's say we have added text. Now let's say you want to add some widgets to display KPIs, right? So based on a particular column, so I click here and it's going to be the new order. Okay, so like the order ID, I want to get the total count of orders, right? If I want to set up any filters, I can do that over here. If I want to define the settings, so if I want to change the label, let's say total orders, right? And if I want to add some styling or themes to it, okay, so I'll be able to set that. Click on apply, and I can easily reorganize these onto my form if I want to enlarge in it. Okay, same way, let's say I want these simple KPIs if I want to create different views. So I have the total orders. Likewise, let's say I want to create a filter to this. So click on this to create filter, and let's say based on the status of the order. So I put the status field here, and I want to check the delivered orders. So in this widget, I'm going to display the delivered orders. Right, so I'll be able to see the orders that have been delivered. Likewise, let's say I'm going to duplicate this, and we're just going to add another filter. Instead of delivered, we're going to say pending. Rename this as pending orders, apply, and then just one last duplicate. Let's say I click on edit, and these are going to be my pre-scheduled orders. So I rename it. Okay, so quickly apply. So I have these simple widgets, I have a text added, and then let's say all these reports which you have available here that you've created, you can embed that onto a dashboard. So you have different kinds of reports. Let's say you want these charts to be embedded here, which we created, the gender wise chart, right? Some of the other charts, the order ID based on the status. So I can just click, drag and drop those charts onto the dashboard that we created. So all the different reports that you have, like let's say I pull in an auto analysis report here, put it in here, right? So I just need to add all the information, and I have a dashboard that's ready to use or available here. Okay. And once I'm done, so I can just hit on the save button. Okay, so I go into the view mode now. I'll be able to see I created a tab, multiple different tabs, right? So this dashboard was already there. I created a separate tab called sales order. I'll be able to see the information here based on the dashboard that I created. Okay, so this is where you do the visual analysis. Rather, you integrate the data, you prepare the data, then you create all those reports, charts, dashboards, everything, right? And then comes the collaboration in terms of sharing this with different users. Okay, so if you click on this share button, you'll be able to share this view. You'll be able to make this view public. Nothing but if you click on this, it'll give you a URL. So if you click on publicly on the web, so anyone with this link will be able to access this dashboard, right? Same way, if I click on share, I can click on this embed option here. Okay, so if I want to embed this, let's say onto my creator application as a dashboard, right? So I don't want them to come to this analytical workspace. I'll be able to define that. So let's say I'm going to set the width as 1200, the height as 800, right? And if I want to include the options of a toolbar, the Ask Zia option within this embedded dashboard, I'll be able to set that up. Click on copy. Now I go back to my order management application, right? So I have a dashboard here which I created. Okay, so this dashboard, let's say I want to embed this onto my dashboard. So I can just go into the edit mode. If I go to my dashboard, I have different components. So I can just click on snippet, this embed option. Okay, and I can just paste that URL over here, which embeds that dashboard which we created within my Zoho Creator application. So now if I come back into the live mode and see it over here, I'll be able to see this dashboard that gives all the information which I've created within Creator. Apart from that, the BI and Analytics dashboard which I created would be visible, and I'll be able to view it within my application here itself. Okay, so this dashboard is also one of the key components in Creator, which gives you good visual representation of data. So you can create intuitive dashboards here within Creator, similar to the one we are looking at. Apart from that, I'll just show you a few other sample dashboards and templates which we have created. So this is created within Zoho Creator itself. So this can be done using, like, let's say, being a low-code platform, we give you that option to create custom dashboards and everything, right? So you can create something similar to this, where let's say like an order management use case. So I can see based on an order number that I enter, what are the ordered items, the history of an order as to when the order was placed, when it was picked up, when it was packed, right? Same way, we have some other templates. So, for example, in this app, we have like a manufacturing ERP use case where you have independent dashboards, one for your admin. So you'll have an admin dashboard where they can see information specific to their user login, right? Let's say the sales team, when they log in, they'll be able to see all the sales orders, their specific set of information that can be viewed here. You can create different reports, dashboards, put it all onto this one single view, right? And like it can be done for different users, as I said. So the inventory team can have their own dashboard, the logistics team can have their own dashboard, right? Similarly, like based on the sales order number, let's say I put in a particular sales order number and I hit enter or search. This gives me the detailed information, as in the order number, what is the history of that particular order, which customer it belongs to, the shipping details in terms of the barcode, all that can be viewed over here, right? So I think we could conclude here in terms of the live demo of the platform. Okay. And we'll now be more than happy to take any questions. You can use the questions tab to post your questions. I'll be happy to answer them. And I'm just also just going to share another slide here, which you can scan this QR code, or you can even just open up that URL in order to submit your feedback. Meanwhile, I just take a look at the questions and we'll answer them over the chat. All right. So I think there's a question here from Rich White. So the question here you mentioned about is, when changes to data are made in Creator, is the data passed to analytics, or is the data flow only from analytics? No. So the data, whatever you add into your Creator app, it will get synchronized, right? So that synchronized frequency that we set. So you remember we set it like 3 hours. It will synchronize, and let's say you add new orders, you had new customers, that data would automatically be synced with your analytical workspace. Hope that answers your question. Some of the other questions, we'll also have them answered on the chat. All right. So thank you all. I'd like to thank participants in today's webinar. Thank you for being really cooperative with us, and we would value if you could share your feedback, which will help us to improve as well, right? And of course, yes, you can access Zoho Creator, sign up for a free trial account at any time in case you're a new customer, or if you're evaluating a product rather, and if you're already a customer, you know where to access it, and you can try out these different features that we see, right? All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time on today's webinar. It was great speaking to you, and I'm glad to be your host for today's session. Wishing you all a lovely weekend ahead then. Cheers. Bye.